So here's a prediction for the future. People are going to be voting on their cell phones. And that's not crazy, but 15 years ago it would have been, and then 30 years ago people will be like, what's a cell phone? Or at least in addition to polling stations. In the end, it should be more secure to you or feel more secure to you. Your bank account or your vote. Ultimately, it just depends on the value you put on either one, and that kind of brings me to the point of this episode, is to explain all the other episodes and maybe try to set a bit of a clearer goal going forward. I voted, and that's congratulations, and I'll talk about that stuff and my stuff and
plenty of acrimony between some federal liberals and Doug Ford.
He is incapable of governing.
Why people would embrace such a manifestly obvious, unqualified candidate for premier.
And some of Ford's goals.
Hypocrisy is a good word, too. And my thing, I guess, is to reverse engineer it a little bit and have fun making videos and talking about things. And politics fills time. And there's lots of things you can do, and just hope for the best episode, because in the end it's fun and I want to do something cool. And the whole point has been to learn, and I've seen a little bit of progression from when I started up until now, and I know there was a lot of sound difficulty in the beginning, and then the mediums and just putting things together to have stuff out, because there is a deadline to this. I intend to have something around 10 minutes out every week, and it's a journal to myself, and I include a lot of imagery and stuff like that, because it says stuff that I can't say because of lack of vocabulary and tact and understanding, but questions that I put out to myself and then go back and look at it a couple of weeks later, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, that turned into this or that turned into that, because I see patterns a lot of the time. And language, there's languages that are being spoken that in places that if you can read that, it maybe tells a story that is different from the one that you're hearing out loud. And that's what I'm doing for fun with myself, is telling a story, but telling a different story woven into it. That's an inside joke to myself, and it's for fun, and it's a tool for growth and for, learning and having fun with the camera. And why not just record it and put it aside and go back and review it yourself later? And the answer for that is because this puts a little bit of mustard on it. There's pressure to do something that's not totally ridiculous, because somebody may end up seeing this at some point.
Having a beard taught me that everyone speaks slower and loudly to me, and that it's a lot easier to get away with stuff in traffic when you mess up.
So, kill the headlights and put it in neutral. The other thing having a beard taught me is that there's no point smoking and drinking coffee at the same time, because your mustache just sucks up all the coffee, and then when you go to take a drag off your cigarette, it pours all back out on top of your cigarette and you've wasted it. This is the kind of hardcore, cutting-edge journalism you'll find here. And yeah, that's pretty funny. And it's neat to go back and see unintended parallels and parable. Like, the quietest place I can find to go and play hacky sack is a library. Here, I'll pass it to you. So put a band-aid on it. Don't pick at the corners. Nothing's real. Except for the brakes and the door wiring on this car. That's a real thing. The band-aid's just a prop. But I know because I did it, and I'll do more stuff, and I'll learn that stuff, and I'll show more stuff, and, you know, just try to share it freely, too, to make it like it's other people can work. So the idea of this episode was to be unconfusing, and if I go any further, then I think I'm going to defeat that. This next minute of entertainment is brought to you by Rock Jr.
Very, very soon. As the CIA pushed for a massive conflict in the Ukraine and Syria, Trump is finally setting up their fighting team. Now watch their leaders free one bird. Their free lunch is up. You see, they've been sucking out the American people for a long time. Free lunch is over. You know, to add insult to injury, the nation of Russia was never even invited to the G7 summit. The devalued the ruble so bad it became the 11th largest economy in the world, but we never invited China. And there's the wimpy little child molesting leader of Canada, Trudeau, who lied to Trump as he was leaving the meeting. God will now move on these European leaders. The world will know what kind of national socialist.
Rock Jr.